Okay, most of the time I'm putting up videos about drum sets, drumming, and all that stuff. But this time I'm putting up this jig I made to drill out holes in dowels. Um, I've looked and I've looked and I've looked, and everything has to do with a lathe or a drill press. I have neither. Well, I do have a drill press, but it's 1,000 miles away in another location, and so I couldn't do that. All right, so here's what you've got here. All right, real simple. Um, Ooh, boy, that's in there tight now. Well, that's all right. I left it stationary anyway. You've got back here 3/4 inch plywood. Doesn't matter how wide you make it. Make it however wide you want. I should say on the bottom. Okay, 2 by 3/4 inch. I think it's like 5.5 inches wide. This was a oh, that's why it won't move. I screwed it down. That's right. This was a sled that I had. I put a V groove in there. Watch my camera here. I put a V groove in it, and this was a sled, but I decided to leave the sled stationary, so I put a couple of screws in it to the bottom 3/4 inch. All right, so it's 3/4 inch plywood. This is all scrap wood that I used. All right, so this is screwed down to the 2 by. This is screwed down to the 3/4, and the idea was a sled, and I was going to have a piece of wood here, stationary, kind of push the sled. I decided not to because the dowels were different length. I didn't feel like messing around with it. I've got right here 3/4 inch by 1.5, which made a track for the sled. All right, 2 of those. Back at the drill, all right, I took a drill, turned it upside down, and you'll see I've got a couple of wedges that I cut that are form fit, so the back of the drill wedges into those 2 wedges, and then you can see I just form fit a couple of other pieces of scrap wood to sit on top of the drill, and then I clamped it down. And that was a real trick to keep the bit level. You can see these 2 clamps are here. 1, 2. Those are there to squeeze this in. I didn't screw that in because I really didn't want to put screws through this into some plywood. I didn't think the screws would hold very well, so I just clamped those in. So those are clamps, okay. And then for my shorter dowels, I could do it easy by hand. Just kind of put my thumb behind the dowel and just push. These are a little bit longer, and this clamp was kind of in the way, so I just used a scrap piece of wood to push the dowel. All right, so you've got your drill set into a wedge, and whatever drill you have, you're going to have to design your own wedges to form fit to your own drill. But you turn it upside down. This particular Hitachi drill is pretty flat on the bottom, which made it nice. Wasn't perfectly level, so I had to monkey with my my 2 boards here to clamp down. That was the trickiest part, just getting it level. But once it was level, you turn the drill on, and then you just slide the bit forward, like so. And the result was not bad, not perfect, but for my application, it's going to work just fine. And what I did was I drilled out both ends, and then I finished with a 1/4 inch, a foot long bit, just to get the center. And most times it met pretty well. It's not perfect, but it'll work for me. So the reason I'm putting this up, this will have to do with a drum set that I'm making, actually, ultimately. But I put this up it's just an idea for those that are constantly looking at YouTube or all over the web. How do I use a drill? I don't have a lathe. I don't have a drill press. How do I use a drill to drill a straight bit? To drill a straight hole into a dowel. And that's why I put this video together, such as it is. So anyway, these are 3/4 inch. You've got to cut your V groove just the right height. Obviously, that V groove has got to be just right, so you can meet your bit just right, and you've got to obviously center your bit, so you're not this way or that way. Obviously, left or right, north, south, east, or west. It's got to be right on the money, and you can just I don't know, I didn't find it that difficult to do, all things considered. And I didn't see anything like this. I saw other types of jigs that I said, oh man, I'm not going through all that trouble just for this. Because I only had, what did I have, 8, 16, 22 of these to do. Different, there was 3, 6-inch, and 9-inch. But anyway, worked pretty good. So there it is. Got your drill upside down, a couple of wedges to hold it in place, and a couple of form-fitting boards that you clamp down to keep the drill, keep your bit from going up and down, keep it nice and straight. A foundation, we'll call it a base, and then your 3/4 inch that the drill is sitting on. You can keep that as a moving sled if you want. I ended up making it stationary, which is as easy to slide the dowel back and forth in the groove. Put your V-groove in your sled, got your sides here to hold it in good, and however, what kind of clamps you want to use to clamp it all down. There it is. Took me about 20 minutes to put it together, and worked pretty well. So there you go.